Hey guys, Micah from Black Bear Custom Kydex. I have a holster to show you today. This is for the Sig Sauer 1911, and just so you guys know, the weapon is clear. Nothing in the chamber there. Sorry, it took me a second to do that from not the position I usually do that. Alright, so we have here really beautiful. I don't know if this is the standard edition. I don't think it is, but you can see it's got the nice like a brushed silver and then the matte finish on the slide. I have no idea if these look like aftermarket sights to me, but anyway, this is for a friend of mine, local guy named Keegan, and he'd asked me to make him a 3 or 4 o'clock holster inside the waistband, and use Cryptek Raid because it matches really nicely with this particular color scheme here. So really happy with how this thing came out. A little bit of a pain in the butt working on this particular gun. I don't have a molding prop for it, which might have actually been easier. Usually I prefer to use the actual gun, just because, you know, it just does guarantee a precise fit, whereas a molding prop sometimes does not. Usually they're really good, but occasionally not so much. So anyway, with this one, all the prepping that this thing took, I had to cut so many different little pieces to make sure that this thing was blocked out properly for a smooth and comfortable draw. But I think I got it. So you can see here we have several points of retention, and all of my holsters come with this kind of gap here so that you can adjust the retention yourself. I put thick spacers in there and I compress them down using Chicago screws, so that you'll have a range of tightness or looseness depending on how much you want to cinch that down. So these 2 screws here do affect the retention, as well as these 2, which are the primary retention adjustment screws. These 2 up here just hold the belt clip. You can actually see the screws up there. And in case you're unfamiliar with how something like this would work, you know, if you haven't checked out Kydex holsters before, one thing that's really important that you do when you build a holster like this is make sure that wherever you're attaching to the belt clip, if it's going to be directly over the gun, you need there to be something, you know, stuck to the holster or stuck to the gun before you press the sheath on it, so that it creates an outcrop and the back of the hardware can clear that height, so that there's no contact between those metal screws and the beautiful slide you see here. That would leave, I mean, instantly would scratch, would probably dig a little trench into the side of this slide. It would be really bad. So anyway, you just need to make sure you create some clearance there for the hardware. So you do have good clearance with this. And then this device here, this is something you can buy pre-made. They're called concealment claws. Raven Concealment offers them. They do some really nice stuff, and they have really nice looking products. The one thing that I'm running into with my own personal carry, I'm going to pull my holster out here, is that you can see that this RCS claw has started to curve backward. The whole point of it is that it stays up forward. You can see this in line with the handle right here, right on the bottom of the magazine. It should stay up just like that, nice and straight, so that it pushes against your belt and helps to push the handle in and tuck it. The whole purpose is to help conceal the handle so you don't print in that particular fashion. So I'm trying out some different things to see if I can make this issue go away. So this is just the issue of the belt. You know, you can see how far it stands off of the holster, and over time the belt pushes on it and it just ends up warping. So I'm pretty unhappy about that. I thought that this was going to be a lot more rigid. So I'm trying with some Kydex. You can see I've just taken a piece of Kydex and I've cut it and bent it up like that. So you have the fold is what would actually push against your belt. Should be very strong. And the closer it is to the holster itself, obviously the less likely it is to bend. However, I did decide to do adjustable positions here. So you got 3 positions, and you can go out, you can put that out about 1 inch further. So if you really want to have it, you know, out near closer to the end of the handle, you could do that. You can see that that does ride quite a bit. It'll push really aggressively against the belt and hopefully tuck the handle. Obviously, this is going to be a little bit dependent on your body size and the curve of your hip and all that, but I think this is probably the way to go right there. So, yeah, so I'm really curious to get some feedback. I'm actually going to put one of these on my holster as well. Pardon me, guys. Man, just like old times, yawning in every video. You can see I actually drilled the holes to do it on mine, but I never ended up attaching it. So I am going to do that pretty soon, and we'll see how that goes. But I think this is worth checking out. I think it's probably going to work out better than the Raven Concealment claw, and yeah, we'll just have to wait. Time will tell, but I'm really happy with how this came out. You can see I've got it set up right now with what I consider to be perfect retention for a holster. It does have a little bit of rattle in it, but that all goes away once you put it inside your waistband. Oh, the owner of the gun is calling me right now, actually. He's just gonna have to wait. So yeah, when you put it inside your waistband, obviously your belt and your body, your pants are going to squish a little bit. They're going to provide just a little bit more compression, so it'll feel slightly tighter once you're wearing it than it does just like this. So I always let it be, you know, secure, but with a small amount of play, so that when you add the retention of your waistband and your belt and all that, it does eliminate that rattle. And you probably wouldn't notice anyway, because the gun is going to be nice and snug up against your body, so everything should be stabilized, not rattling at all. We've got a foamy clip here on the front. You can see I've stamped the logo into it. These are nice clips, I think, for if you're gonna wear 3, 4, 5 o'clock, something like that. This is what I would recommend for a belt clip. If you were going to wear appendix carry, I would recommend grip hooks, and these are grip hooks. You can see these thinner. I don't recommend doing any kind of holster with just one grip hook on it. I've done it before. I've carried one like that before, and I just didn't feel that it was stable. It kind of has the tendency, if you hit it, it'll wobble. You can actually tweak it just enough to make the belt pop out of the loop. So if you're doing AIWB, sorry, appendix, 2 grip hooks, that thing is secure. It's not going anywhere. But if you're doing a side carry, definitely a foamy clip is the way to go, in my opinion. So, yeah. Give you a good look at this. I apologize, I know the lighting is a little bit funky here, but hopefully this is all showing up nicely on camera. You can see I've done some nice contour cuts. The trigger, the entire trigger well is entirely concealed here, and actually you can see the retention divot I put right there. So this is something I'm doing now as well. I think it gives you better retention, and well, it gives you the same kind of retention, but a smoother resheathing or reholstering. Whereas if you have an indent in the entire trigger well, your gun, front of your trigger guard is actually going to push against that the whole way through. So about an inch, inch and a half, whatever the distance is. Whereas this one, it will just go smooth, smooth, smooth until it hits that little point and gives you that tiny little click in. So I prefer this. I think it's nice. And you get plenty of retention all along the slide anyway. So, yeah. I don't know, guys. Let me know what you think of this. I'm really happy with how it came out, and I'm very eager to get some feedback from the owner after he's carried it around a little bit. So, let me know what you think, and let me know what you think of this beautiful. I think this is a gorgeous gun. It's a little bit too big for me to consider a concealed. I wouldn't conceal carry this, but yeah, that's just my personal taste. So, anyway. If you guys have an opinion, hit me with that down below. Let me know what you think of this. For those of you who are gun nuts and know every variant of every gun, let me know if this is just the stock version or if it's a special edition of the Sig 1911. But man, this thing is gorgeous. I would love to take this to the range and put some rounds through it. So, oh. Alright guys, that's all I got for you. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Stick around for the next one. God bless.